Yo, check out this clip from the pre-patch podcast.
It's interesting though that we brought up this entire thing and that we brought up the US kind of digging into Sony for their bullshit that they kind of pulled with like complaining about the fact that they don't want this to be, they think it's unfair that I Blizzard or that not Blizzard, Microsoft is trying to pull the whole acquisition to make it so that they have exclusivity with Activision deals. Considering rumors about Konami and PlayStation exclusivity deals have resurfaced.
Dude, this made me
very interesting.
This made my mind hurt so bad, and it's just made the Twitter space, as far as the consoles go, just the worst place possible, man. Like,
so you brought this up. If you want to kind of take the lead on this.
Yeah, man, it's wild, dude. So on one hand, I'm so torn on this. It's like the scale of balance. On one hand, I'm extremely happy that Konami has finally decided that they're going to start doing something again, and
Yeah.
something worthwhile, and
Right.
that Sony is willing to fund these worthwhile projects, because I do think that Sony money does make better games 90% of the time. Looking at you for spoken for the 10%. But we're definitely getting Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah.
That was already confirmed.
That's
and
already
it's already
confirmed.
confirmed
Yeah.
PlayStation exclusive. We are possibly getting Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, which would be PlayStation exclusive if this leak is to be believed. And we will also be getting a resurgence in I'm
Castlevania.
assuming 3D Castlevania, because they still have the like the 2D side scroller Castlevanias. They've still been pumping those out, no problem whatsoever. But we haven't had a 3D Castlevania since the Lord of Shadows series, which was mixed reception at best.
That was a while
So
ago too. That was like 4 or
that was
5
the
years ago,
360
right?
era.
Was
Yeah.
that 360? Yeah.
It was longer ago. It was the
Was it?
360
Okay.
era. Yeah. So the Lords of Shadow was the last 3D Castlevania we got. I would love to see them bring again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Castlevania is the perfect franchise, I think, if they're going to plan on doing more 3D versions of it. A Souls-like would fit so well. Put
It would,
Alucard
man.
into it,
Yeah.
It
because
would.
they have that cycle of life and death, man. It would
It
be
would.
Yeah.
perfect. And
I completely
Yeah.
agree with you on that. And
Yeah.
honestly, like that's one of those those storylines and that lore that I think would fit really well with like a Dark Souls-esque style game, right?
It very well would. And Sony's already shown that they are invested in that kind of a game, with them partnering with From Software and the Demon Souls
For
remake
sure.
and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. So I'm really happy to see Konami maybe getting some new stuff out in some of those franchises that have been on the back burner. On the other hand, it's another case similar to Square Enix, where Sony is basically subjugating a third-party developer into being a first-party developer
Yeah.
unofficially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
and not
is,
not
I
not
get
just
why they're doing.
not just that, but after the fact that they sat there for how many months now, bitching and complaining that it was just unfair, just completely fucking unfair that Microsoft
Yep.
was doing this.
Microsoft. Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
do the exact fucking same thing.
Yeah. And then
Granted,
they also
granted
just
on a
picked up
smaller
another-
scale. Granted on a smaller scale, 100%,
It is.
obviously, on a
Yeah.
smaller scale. But
And
still,
I had a conversation.
It's no surprise, and they also just picked up another company too, like right before this.
yeah,
It was an
I
indie
mean,
company.
it was an
but
indie company
yeah,
that hadn't
it-
had
it- that
anything.
was
Yeah, they
that's
didn't have
true. That
any
was like that
actual
random
games out. Yeah,
indie company. But
I got into a
surprise still.
conversation on Twitter about it, and the argument that the other person was making, that publishers are uh, greater than games, and that's why Sony is making a big deal out of the Activision, because just because you can make exclusive, like third-party games exclusive to your console, this time doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. Whereas if a publisher gets bought out, then it is basically a sure thing, unless whoever buys them is lenient. So
That
I didn't
makes
really see that
that makes
argument as
absolutely no
much.
fucking sense. Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's still people losing out on the chance to play games potentially. So exclusivity is always going to be anti-consumer at the end of the day. Remember that, guys. Like first party titles, feel free. You can make those first party all day. It's to be expected, but that should be where your exclusivity lies. Any third party games that go um, exclusive, it is anti-consumer. Whether that exclusivity money makes the game better or not in the long run, it's still anti-consumer, which I will concede that um, Sony, at least for the most part, again, looking at you for Spoken, is very good with their
Calling you out for
third-party
Spoken.
exclusives.
Calling you out for Spoken.
And that's coming from somebody that had fun with Forspoken and finished Forspoken.
Yeah, it's just this really did kind of crack me up because I had actually kind of forgotten about this entire thing until you brought it back up the other day or this afternoon.
I forgot about it as well.
But like literally, I was looking at that previous the previous one where it was the UK kind of finally buckling down. It's just like, how out of touch do you have to be to pull the shit that you pulled with Microsoft and then
Do this.
go and garner a fucking
It's Sony, man.
Would you rather
so
them have
petty.
Would you rather them have came out and just stated blatantly that they were buying either Square Enix or Konami or
yes,
both?
I actually would have rather that they, because at least then they're being fucking real, bro. At least then they're being like, yeah, fuck you. We're just gonna do this. This is just like a backhanded little. Well, we didn't win, so fuck you. We're gonna take Konami.
That's true. That's exactly what this is.
It's just
probably the
oh god, dude.
Probably the best thing that come out of this potentially though is the fact that Kojima Productions and Sony have a very close
They always
working
have.
relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see if Konami and Kojima Productions are going to work together on these Metal Gear Solid remakes or whatever they're
wouldn't
planning on
doubt it.
doing with, because Metal Gear is Kojima's baby.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much bad blood there is.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't know
Konami.
how the two. I don't think that they ended things very well.
They
if I
parted on
remember
very
correctly.
bad terms. Yeah.
So it's very possible that it might be I kind of equate it to the Black Isle Studios and Bethesda, right? Like those two finally getting under the same roof. I'm almost curious if it's like Phil Spencer having to be in the middle of them. Like, now, children, we have to play well together. I'm almost wondering if it's it's not Reggie. Who's the president of Sony right now? I can't remember his fucking name. Jim Ryan. Yeah. I'm almost wondering if it's Jim Ryan. Like, now, Kojima, you got to play nice. It would not surprise me one little bit. But yeah, so possibility. I don't think this has been confirmed. I personally don't see why this wouldn't be for real, considering how closely.
It seems like the source is good, and with them.
Well, not even just the source. Yeah, it's just how closely these companies have worked together with Sony in the past. It doesn't surprise me. It's kind of like Bethesda going to Xbox. I was not personally surprised about that, considering how closely Bethesda and Xbox and Microsoft have always worked together. So this,
and with us having a PlayStation showcase next week, or is
literally
it
2 weeks, I think.
Okay,
I think 2 weeks. It's on the 25th, right? 24th. Yeah, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I
wouldn't be surprised if you hear something
will be
about
announced
this.
Then,
yeah, I would not be surprised one little bit. So come on back to the podcast then.
On the Silent
Considering
Hills.
the PlayStation Showcase is supposed to blow your balls off.
Blow your balls off.
That is a quote.
They still got to show more of that one, like 1960s Silent Hill. I want to see that.
Yeah.
That one piques my interest. So
man.
was the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Silent Hill 2 remake, and then I know exactly. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that one even existed. The one with the lady on the boat.
Dude, that looks. Yeah. That one looks creepy and good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, come back in 2 weeks, and we'll be talking about that. I'm sure. Please come back, please. Please.
I hope you enjoyed this small selection from the Pre-Patch podcast. And if you want to catch us live, we do this every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, both on YouTube and Twitch. So don't forget to like and subscribe. We are also available to listen to at anchor.fm/Pre-Patch podcast or wherever podcasts are listened to. Much love.